What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel and welcome to week 1 of the BBR. I'm really excited to start taking a part in another Wi-Fi league after the GUU was abandoned. Unfortunately, some Wi-Fi leagues stopped on the channel, but I'm really happy to be a part of another one on the channel, and this one is going to be a really fun one. There's so many people in this league who I've always wanted to play but never had the actual opportunity to play. People who I consider close friends, one of which is Obo, the person I'm playing today, another one of which is Zombie, who I play week 2, a bunch of other people, a bunch of other folks that I've been really excited to play, along with Matt, aka Dr. Slacking, who should be uploading his parts of the battles too. So really excited for this season. I drafted a bunch of fun mons that I like and some mons that I've sort of been harsh and criticized quite a bit and have called bad, and I sort of want to give them a try for myself to either prove myself right or wrong. And I'm really excited to sort of do that. So we are gonna get into week 1 here. If you want to learn about what my draft is, why I picked it, and what my certain thoughts on what my picks are, like I said, in terms of what I think is good and what I think is not good, what I'm gonna try and see if I'm right or wrong about. You can check out the draft analysis. That should have gone up quite a bit ago, probably not quite a bit ago, probably a week ago from whenever this is uploaded, maybe a little bit even earlier than that. But regardless, that's not what we're here for. We're here for a game against Obo and the Seattle Sandstorm. I'm really excited to be playing Obo. He's actually the guy who created the GUU, which is the first Wi-Fi league I was a part of, which is something I'm so grateful for him getting me into Wi-Fi. I consider him to be the one who's responsible for doing so. He opened a spot for me in the Wi-Fi scene without really knowing who I was, and he's just been a great friend. So really nice guy. Love Obo. Cool dude. So I guess I should get into what his actual team is first. I should have it up here. Yep, I do. So his team is Landorus, Toxapex, Curum, Rotom Heat, Registeel, Vullaby, Mega Gallade, Florges, Serperior, Mismagius, and Swampert. Now, the mons I don't necessarily see are Florges and Mismagius. Those are the two that I think are the least likely, mostly because I have things like Suicune, which handle them pretty well as hard-hitting steel types like Heatran and Kartana. Mismagius doesn't do too great against my team anyway, given I have a couple of Pursuit Trappers, bunch of Spadef Walls, etc. The next things I saw in least likeliness were Vullaby. I saw it as a possible, kind of maybe Kartana answer, but I feel like things that he has like Rotom Heat and Landorus and even Toxapex are slightly better at doing so. Even something like Rindoberry Swampert is a little bit possible. And then after that, it was really a toss-up in the air. I think he could really bring anything here. He could go take a slightly more defensive route with Toxapex plus Swampert and Registeel, or he can run a very offensive team with Landorus and Curum and other mons like that. So really interested to see what he brings here, but I tried to make a team that sort of covers all of it, as well as make a team that was going to be fun to use against this matchup. So I'm going to show you what this is now. The first mon is Mew with Sub, Aurasphere, Psychic, and Calm Mind. It was basically this set purely so that I can set up a sub on something like Registeel, or set a sub up on something like Toxapex, which can't break Mew with this given EV spread. Max HP really, walls a lot of his more defensive mons behind a sub. And with Calm Mind too, a lot of his special attackers are going to get to a point where they can't break the sub either, such as Florges, for example. So I figured Sub, Aurasphere, Psychic, Calm Mind is really nice here. The only thing it struggles against is the Vullaby. Foul Play does always do a substantial amount of damage, really no matter what I do. So either got to make sure Vullaby doesn't come, or that I eliminate it early with some other threat on my team. So that is going to be that. By the way, I got a new mic. You can probably see it in the shot because I'm trying to show it off. So hopefully it will divert some noise from other parts of my dorm. My dorm is pretty constantly noisy, so if there's little side effects, I hope there aren't. But if there are, they're here, and I'm sorry. But hopefully the mic sort of cancels that out quite a bit, and that's why I sort of have it in my general facility so it picks up that noise. Anyway, that's not what this is about. The next mon is Kartana. Now, I was going to make this a metronome set, then I was going to do a speed boosting set, but I actually opted to go with just Adamant Miracle Seed. With Adamant, I'm speed tying max speed Curum and outspeeding everything else below it, including Landorus, Therian, and Miracle Seed guarantees a 2 KO on literally anything at all with the exception of Rotom Heat. And with Rotom Heat, I'm able to knock off its leftovers or whatever. And after a Swords Dance, a Sacred Sword is also going to be doing a pretty substantial amount of damage. And if I can, get something like Rocks up, Rotom Heat's really not going to be that great of a switch in. So Adamant Kartana, when you have the ability to run Adamant Kartana, you're in a good spot. So I'm really, really excited to try out Kartana for the first time. It's a mon I've been skeptical of, but every other friend I have swears by it, so we'll definitely see how well it does here. Next mon is Mega Aerodactyl. Really excited to use Mega Aerodactyl again. I haven't used it since Owl as well as Mew, so very, very cool. It's just 4 attacks. That's really all it needs. Once again, I'm able to run Adamant because it's fastest mon. Its fastest mon, even if it's Timid or Jolly, still can't outpace this EV spread, which is really fantastic for me. Now, that being said, the downside with Aerodactyl is I can't really run anything like Defog or Roost or, Stealth Rock because it really does need all 4 of these moves. And I wasn't upset to run all 4 of these moves. It's just something that the rest of the team is going to have to necessarily work around. You need Stone Edge for general coverage, Aerial Ace for Mega Gallade, Ice Fang for Landorus, and Earthquake for Toxapex / Registeel. So you really need general coverage on Mega Aerodactyl for everything. But I felt like offensively it pressured stuff so well that it was going to be a good bring. So that is Aerodactyl, Mega Aerodactyl, I should say. So next mon is a Scarf Komala. Now this is the set I was most excited to bring because I think one is just hilarious, Scarf Komala, because it's so small and low and whatever. But also, I gotta turn Discord notifications off. I can't believe I have that up. I'm very sad. I'm not starting over though. Scarf Komala. Yes, it outpaces Superior and Gallade. The whole point of Scarf Komala is literally just there to be like a gotcha mon. Like it's literally just there to be like a surprise in all honesty. I don't think he'll think it's going to come, and I think when it outspeeds, I think it's going to give an amount of shock value. I was looking for a Scarfer. I didn't want to Scarf Kartana. I didn't really want to bring Heracross necessarily. And I figured, Scarf Komala was actually going to be pretty fire this game. So between, Thrash just goes off if his defensive bonds are removed. But generally just the ability to U-turn is going to be really nice to get me pivoting momentum into either Mew or Mega Aerodactyl or Kartana, etc. So really, really like the idea of Scarf Komala here. And it's actually probably my favorite nickname that's on the team. 7 a.m. I think is pretty fucking hilarious. So that is going to be my friend Komala. Now the next mon is Comfey. Comfey is there to also be a pseudo Gallade check plus a pseudo Kyurem check possibly, with Draining Kiss, just offensive Draining Kiss here, and then anything that Fairy doesn't hit, you hit pretty effectively with Hidden Power Ground from the Registeel to the Toxapex. On top of that, the last move, Calm Mind was a given, but Taunt, his last move, was sort of up in the air, but I ultimately decided with the defensive threats he had between Toxapex and Registeel is going to be a really, really solid option, as well as stopping like a sub-pressuring Kyurem set or a Wishing Florges or something like that. So really, really nice there. I'm actually I'll do that in a little bit. But anyway, that is Comfey right there. It's basically just there to revenge if I need it to, and that's about it. That's all it's there for. So that's Comfey. Next is my friend Nidoqueen. So Nidoqueen is basically just there to bait in Lando Earthquakes, Ice Beam it back. It would be great. It's kind of my dedicated lead because I want to get Rocks up right away, but if he does lead Lando, I will make that exchange just going for Ice Beam. If he stays in, he loses his Landorus. If he doesn't, then I still get a decent amount of chip off with something, and he doesn't really have any great switch-ins to my Ice Beam in the first place. So I'm going to make sure all these notifications are turned off for the actual game itself. That's completely my bad. I don't know if the recording can hear them. Probably it would be bad, but whatever. But yeah, that is Nidoqueen, just 3 attacks, and Stealth Rock hits his entire team, which is absolutely fantastic. So let's get into the game. Fantastic. So we are here in the game against Obo. Really, really excited to be playing this game. Haven't played Obo before, so I'm really, really excited to do it. But the big shock is that Mega Gallade did not come. The 6 months that did come didn't necessarily surprise me that they were here, but I was just shocked that he prioritized, having 2 bulky waters over Mega Gallade. But other than that, nothing really surprised me. There was no Florges, there was no Mismagius, there was no Kyurem. So basically what I expected in that regard. Vullaby seemed like a long shot. So, we'll see what he ends up leading off here. But we will be challenged by Obo. And I was definitely nervous, not going to lie. Do really like starting off leagues in week 1 with a win. And recently I have not been able to do that. So was really nervous for this game, but we'll see how it goes. He does lead Landorus, which is honestly fantastic for me. This is the exact situation I was envisioning, where either he switches out and I get a nice beam off on something, just get early game chip, or he stays in, hits me with an earthquake, and I take it and I ice beam him back. And honestly, this turn 1 could not have gone any bit better for me. It was really fantastic, and I'm happy it worked out like this. So yeah, that's really nice, just for Nidoqueen to get the first kill of the game and put me immediately at a 5-6 advantage. 6 for me, 5 for him. Unfortunately, I do switch out, and I do make somewhat of an aggressive play into Kartana, sort of just assuming he won't have HP Fire on the Swampert. Now, I think it was quite likely he could have, especially if he's running something like Rindoberry. And I think, you know, he's going to hit me with the Earthquake here, and it's not going to two-shot, which is great. I thought it would for a second, but it didn't. And I over-predict here, and I go for knockoff, and it really is kind of shitty, because Leaf Blade would have done an absolute butt-ton of damage. And thankfully, he doesn't have the HP Fire, so my bad play isn't punished necessarily too poorly. I think the better play would for me to double out and scout for if he had the Rindo or whatever, but I don't really know how I would necessarily do that, given my team is so offensive this week. But it does go into Registeel, and this damage is really important because it tells me it's max HP, max defense. It also tells me it's not leftovers, which is really nice. I don't know what it is, but it's not leftovers. So I'm going to go back to my Nidoqueen because I know I can take any one hit, even an Earthquake I take, and Iron Head, as you can see, is, I would say, a 3-hit KO from this range. So I technically am able to get my rocks up. If he stays in, he stays in, but I think he's too fresh. I think he's too pressured out from the possibility of Earth Power, that he's going to let me get my rocks up. And even if he goes into Rotom and if he defogs, it's going to give me momentum, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. So I actually do decide to switch out here because Overheat is going to kill my Nidoqueen, and I can't really kill it with anything necessarily. So I do go into my Komala, realizing that since Galate's not here, it's a little bit less of a priority, unfortunately, as he will go for the Overheat. And Komala's actually going to take this pretty decently well with that natural bulk, taking it, given it's a stab Overheat from Rotom Heat. So I go for U-turn. I actually expected him to switch out, possibly thinking I'm some sort of wish set or defensive set that he couldn't really touch. But he actually just stays in, which I'm honestly okay with. I can just go back into my Nidoqueen now that he's -2. I definitely take a hit, and it ends up working well for the prediction for me, as he does go for the Volt Switch. He does go for another Overheat here, as I go for a Sludge Wave, just to go for damage. And I go for the Sludge Wave to basically put it in range of Kartana's Leaf Blade. Now after it comes in on rocks, there's no way it switches into absolutely anything at all. And I'm actually going to go back to my Komala. I want to preserve this thing because it does offensively pressure Toxapex and Registeel, so I want to keep it in the back as a threat if I can, as he makes a really good play predicting my switch out and going for Volt Switch. So I could have stayed in and just killed the Rotom, but is what it is. He made a good play. But thankfully, he still does not think I'm Scarf. I did outspeed the Rotom Heat, but maybe he could have just thought I was a higher speed Komala. As I do reveal the Scarf here and go for the U-turn. Now, the reason I do this is, 1, because I just want massive damage off on the Superior, and 2, because the only thing he can do this turn is Leaf Blade. He can't sub, because it wouldn't really make that much sense, and he can't glare or anything like that because Komala can't get glared. So I thought Leaf Blade was really his only logical play, and the way he brought it in made it seem like he wanted to do some sort of mid-game breaking with it, not thinking that I was actually Scarf Komala. So that was going to be really fantastic. I don't actually know what his item was, but even if Komala wasn't Scarf, Mega Aerodactyl was going to pretty nicely come in after something died. But Scarf Komala is still doing work, just with the ability to not only just threaten the Superior, but also get momentum with the U-turn. Click U-turn twice now. It's put me in a pretty fantastic position. The great thing about Komala is that it did bait out this turn. It either he killed the Superior or baited out the Registeel or the Toxapex. And what's great about that is no matter which he went into, it's a free setup bait for my Mew. So I'm able to get behind a substitute, and I'm not going to lie, this portion of the battle is going to get pretty stally. So I'm gonna talk a little bit, but I'm not going to really commentate turn by turn for this. But it's definitely a situation that I am not necessarily used to myself. I feel really bad for stalling in Wi-Fi. I would say this exchange took about 10 minutes, which, you know, I completely understand being frustrating from the other perspective, being sort of in a position where you feel like you can't do anything, but you're forced to be playing, and there's a timer going on, and it's like, can't this just end? So I do set up with a calm mind on Mew, and I am going to sort of be in this position for a little while all of his attacks he's going to reveal Ironhead this turn. All of his attacks are going to be two-shotting my substitutes. So no matter what, I will be walling this Registeel with my sub and my leftovers. Now I do actually mess up a little bit because I probably should have just boosted up all the way to +6 or +5 or however much I needed. But as you can see, after one Calm Mind, I'm really just going to start chipping down this Registeel, sort of just assuming that I can beat everything else without all the Calm Minds. And I felt bad about wasting people's time, about wasting Obo's time with all the setup and whatever, when there's a chance that, I don't know. I don't know why I just didn't set up, but it's definitely a weird thing to play. It's at least better than, like, I don't know, Substall Suicune, which is what I was going to bring this week. So even though I drafted like Mew and Suicune and like I shouldn't feel bad about it, I still did it. I'm still going to try and play a little bit more offensive because that's just, you know, how it's fun. At least in my eyes. So people have very subjective opinions of bonds, but yeah, this is going to just be a little bit stally for a while. I believe it's going to continue on just for a little bit with Mew and Registeel here. Honestly, I don't know. It just happens, and you guys heard an Ironhead, he breaks my sub. I'm pretty sure I set up another sub on this turn, and it's going to put me in a position where Mew should hypothetically just 5-0 clean. Or so I thought, as you will about to see after I kill this Registeel, but I'm not going to get into that until I actually get into it. But I guess I should just preface it so I'm not like stumbling on my words as the game constantly moves on. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So after I kill this Registeel, as you're about to see, he's going to go into a Swampert, and he's going to click Roar and roar me out. Now, you might be wondering, why wouldn't you just Psychic that turn and not get roared out by that? Well, I could have if I boosted up a little bit more, but I felt bad about stalling, so I didn't, you know, end the game right there. And, yeah. I probably should have just boosted up some more so I could win, but I didn't. As you'll see here, I'm like, oh shit, I need one more Psychic in order to kill this Swampert. So let me just Psychic one more time, or let me just Calm Mind one more time instead of Psychicking twice in case he's like a Super Berry or something, forgetting I had knocked off Rindo Berry. I don't know. Or maybe he's like Rest. I have no fucking clue. He goes for Roar. I completely forgot Roar existed. And now it's a weird position where it's like, okay, I still have offensive momentum. Like, a lot of my, and Mew can very easily set up again. But now it's just like, ugh, I feel so bad for like wasting his time setting up with Mew, and then he just roars me out. Like, I don't know. It just feels super weird. And I'm gaining this bad habit lately. Once against Elliot and Owl, and now here where I'm sort of just like intentionally trying to make the game closer. In Owl, I like, you know, he's gonna start sacking things to Kartana. As you can see, that Leaf Blade did so fucking much to Toxapex, which is absolutely insane. Like in Owl, I like restarted a game because of hacks, and then here I was like, well, you know, maybe he has Roar, maybe he doesn't. Let's just Calm Mind one more time to just do it. And I think there was a part of me that was like, he might be Roar, but I was like, I don't really care if he's Roar. Like, I feel like the game would be more interesting. And it's like, in the moment, I'm happy about that. And then in hindsight, I'm like, maybe I should have just like, just in case, like just take the win. So it's definitely a weird fine line that I have to like think about and I have to give a little bit more consideration to. But that's a complete tangent. Kartana went in, just took one thing. Superior came in to revenge it. But I actually go Comfey here because I know it can take any one hit and KO and threaten it out with a priority Draining Kiss. As I do just go for the Draining Kiss here on the off chance that Obo stays in. But he doesn't. He goes in Toxapex, makes a fantastic play. Going into his dedicated wall now. I have a couple options here. I could switch out and like go into Mew and just try and set up again. But I want to be safe in case he pulls like a Toxic off here, or even possibly something like a Gung Shot or a Poison Jab. I just want to taunt so that, you know, if he kills me here, I can go into Mew and get a free sub off, no matter what. And if he doesn't kill me, then, you know, if he doesn't kill me, then I can start Calm Minding on it. So he is going to go back into Superior. I think he actually expected to double into Mew, potentially, just because of the fact that I taunted it. And he wanted to go into Superior just to get the damage off in the first place. But I do end up just going for a Calm Mind and probably, I don't know if that, I feel maybe I should have gone into Mew, but it ended up working out for me. Bad players make bad plays and it pays off for them. So that was me. That's what I did. But it is what it is. He's going to go into Toxpex. His 2 mons that he has left are Toxpex and Swampert, so not mons that can really touch me, per se. So we're going to sort of see a lot of just sort of taunting and setting up subs and trying to like break these last 2 mons down. So he does actually reveal Liquidation. I'm like, all right, I think I can pretty safely go Mew now because, you know, I don't want to die in case that I need like an extra taunt or something. I'm not going to needlessly sack something just for the sake of it when Mew is such an easy switch. So because he is taunted though, I think I just hit taunt. I don't remember actually. I am going to be able to get a substitute here, and even if he hards into Swampert, which is a fantastic play, just getting damage off on this thing with Psychic is going to be absolutely phenomenal. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. He can either, you know, take this and go for something like a rest if he has it, but Psychic should still be doing a pretty substantial amount of damage to this thing to a point where it's like, if he somehow has a way to recover, I think I should just be able to stay in spam Psychic and that'll be fine. But I think he eventually is going to be hitting Roar against me, which he does. And he does send me into my Mega Aerodactyl. Now, yes, this is unfortunate because, like, technically Mega Aerodactyl can clean up the rest of his team at this point with an Aerial Ace and an Earthquake. As you'll see here, Mega Aerodactyl will clean up the last 2 mons. But if he really roared me into anything, it was going to be the same situation, right? He roars me into Kartana. Leaf Blade KOs the last 2 mons because Kartana gets the attack boost and KOs Toxapex afterwards. If he does it into Komala, then I get Earthquake off. And if he does it into Mew, then Mew... Or sorry, not Mew, because Mew is the one that got roared. If he gets me into Comfey, then Comfey technically... you know, I could just Draining Kiss, or I could just, you know, go back into Mew. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, at this point, whatever he roared me into is going to do the cleaning. So it is going to be Mega Aerodactyl at this point, which is fantastic, which means that all my mons got to be seen in this game. So really, really good game to Obo. He's going to Baneful Bunker me, try and Toxic Stall me, but it's not going to work out. I believe he actually gets a double Baneful Bunker here, which is kind of cool. But I do sort of want to, you know, apologize because it was a stall your game, and I hate when games come down like that. And I remember I think he was kind of upset at Scarf Komala as well. But I am just trying to have fun with this league and bring sets that I think are fun, and, you know, that's why I drafted things like Guzzlord and, you know, I actually think Suicune's fun. I think Suicune's a fun mon, and Comfey is another mon I've always wanted to try. So it's a for fun Wi-Fi league, and it's competitive, but I want to have fun with it at the same time. It's going to be my last Wi-Fi league in Gen 7, possibly my last Wi-Fi league ever. I have no idea. So I want to take advantage of this option while I can, because I don't have a Switch and I don't have these things. So I want to take advantage of the 3DS if possible. So that's a game against Obo. I'm going to pause it right here. I just want to say great game. He's honestly such an amazing person. And I think he, I don't know. I don't want to start anything, but like I think he doesn't get enough credit for some of the good things that he does. So he's a really fantastic person, and I, you know, consider him one of my best, one of my closest friends in the community. So really, really great game to him. I hope here's to hopefully many more fun draft league battles in Obo, and many in Obo in the BBR, but also fun draft league battles with Obo possibly in the future, but also in the BBR. Hopefully this is a great start for the season. Next week we play Zombie, who, spoilers, also won his game by a pretty substantial margin, 4-0 as well. So we are basically the top 2 at this point in the top of our division, and we're facing off in week 2. Zombie's really, really funny of an opponent because we've been in the same leagues together, between, you know, LTC and GUU and PIBA specifically, and we've just always missed each other on our schedules. We've just never faced each other, which is so freaking weird. So it's going to be great to face him finally in a Wi-Fi league, which arguably I would say I have the leg up on him in a showdown league, but I'm still somewhat unfamiliar at Wi-Fi, and it's definitely a little bit more up Zombie's lane. I would consider it to be more of his bread and butter than mine. So we'll see how that game works out. I obviously don't care. I just hope it's a fun game. He's an opponent that I've wanted to play for a while, and he is a very, very scary team. It has a Mega Mawile, so we'll see how that goes. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later.